All eyes are on the second richest billionaire in the world, Elon Musk. Apparently, he wants clean power. His company, Tesla, however, is still a major polluter. In today's video, we'll be telling you about his meeting with Russia to help reduce mining emissions and everything you need to know. Before we start today's list, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and please turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any of our videos. First up, let's talk about Tesla emissions. Tesla boss Elon Musk is a poster child of low-carbon technology. That all sounds great, but the thing is that Tesla does in fact pollute the planet. Let's take a look at some statistics. According to Devonshire Research Group, an investment firm that specializes in valuing tech companies, was investigating Tesla and found that Tesla's environmental benefits may be more hyped than warranted. Devonshire isn't exactly affirming that Tesla is pulling a Volkswagen or that its cars are releasing greenhouse gases from invisible tailpipes. Instead, they are suggesting that Tesla and all electric vehicles create pollution and carbon emissions in other ways. Each stage of an EV's life has environmental impacts, and while they aren't as obvious as a tailpipe pumping out fumes, that doesn't make them any less damaging. Despite Tesla's green cred, Tesla cars create pollution and carbon emissions in ways that are easily overlooked by consumers and investors. So, an electric car doesn't need gas, but it still perhaps gets energy from burning carbon. It depends on how your local grid generates electricity. Economist Virginia McConnell, who works at the environmental research firm Resources for the Future, says if you use coal-fired power plants to produce electricity, then all electrics don't even look that much better than a traditional vehicle in terms of greenhouse gases. But if your local grid incorporates a fair amount of renewable solar and wind energy like California, your electric vehicle is pretty clean. Of course, gasoline doesn't exist in a vacuum either. Refining, processing, and transporting gas add emissions that car owners must factor into their overall carbon footprint, the so-called well-to-wheel tally. According to the Department of Energy data, it takes as much energy to produce a gallon of gasoline as a Model S consumes in 20 miles of driving. A Tesla spokesperson says, when you add all these extra expenditures up, an electric car like Model S has almost 4 times lower CO2 per mile than an equivalent gas-powered car. So while the emissions argument is tantalizing for gas guzzlers, the average numbers still come out in favor of electric vehicles. Next up, what are the indigenous Russian communities saying? Not everyone is for Tesla. It turns out that indigenous Russian communities in the Taimyr region of the Russian Arctic are begging Tesla not to get its nickel from their areas. The thing is that these communities rely on fishing Tuganok fish as a source of income and food. It is also part of the tradition. Unfortunately, this year, they had to stop fishing early. The reason was that the fish were all gone. Even other fishing spots, like Lake Pyasino, were out of fish. Gennady Shushkin, who is a member of the Dolgan ethnic group, knows without a doubt who is responsible. It so happens that in late May 2020, a reserve fuel tank at a power plant near Norilsk burst open. It ended up flooding local waterways with an estimated 23,000 tons of diesel oil. The spilled oil went on drifting for miles. Part of the Ambarnaya River that feeds Lake Pyasino turned bright red. The culprit is none other than Norilsk Nickel, the Russian nickel mining company. They tried to contain the spill, but it was too late. The damage was done and might affect the local communities for years to come. Shuchkin says that they've been suspecting that the river has been poisoned for a long time. These local Russian communities have been trying to raise awareness about the matter. But the Aboriginal Forum wants Musk to abstain from buying nickel that will be traced to Norilsk until the Russian mega polluter fixes the issue. Aboriginal Forum's appeal to Musk was inspired by an appeal from Musk himself. In a second quarter earnings call in July, Musk was asked what the biggest constraints to Tesla's battery production capabilities are. His response was, nickel. Next up, let's talk about Tesla's big boss and why he wants nickel. Elon Musk is making quite a statement nowadays. He makes it clear how he feels about nickel by saying, any mining companies out there, please mine more nickel. Tesla will give you a giant contract for a long period of time. Why is Elon Musk so desperate for nickel? Nickel plays a vital role in the cathodes of electrical car batteries. They allow more energy to be stored at a lower cost. Tesla and other EV makers are after nickel. The thing is, nickel is scarce. Only certain countries in the world mine nickel. Tesla is afraid that they might run out. That's why it's a race to find the most affordable nickel available to make Tesla vehicles. Musk tweeted in February, "Nickel is our biggest concern for scaling lithium-ion cell production." He also added in July 2020, "Nickel is the biggest challenge for high-volume, long-range batteries." He was also saying that production in Australia, Canada, and Indonesia is going well, but in the US, it's objectively very lame. At this point, what we know is that Tesla gets nickel from the Goro mine on the small Pacific island of New Caledonia to secure its long-term supply. New Caledonia is the world's fourth largest nickel producer, which has seen a 26% rally in prices in the past year. New Caledonia's huge nickel reserves are crucial for the local economy, and the Goro mine in the south of the island has the potential to be one of the world's biggest nickel producers. But what concerns environmentalists is that Musk is willing to do business with anyone who is willing to give him nickel. In other words, he would do business with Russia if he had to. Musk does confirm that Tesla is eyeing Russia as a potential production hub. They are planning on opening more factories. Next up, let's talk about Nornickel. You might not know this, but Norilsk Nickel, or Nornickel, is one of the largest nickel producers in the world. The company claims to be the largest producer of so-called Class 1 or high-purity nickel. That means that it's a type of nickel coveted by battery manufacturers. More and more electric car companies aren't interested in high-purity nickel, so the market for it is predicted to surge. As we've already mentioned, on May 29, 2020, a diesel storage tank at a Nornickel-owned natural gas power plant ruptured. This is an ongoing crisis that still hasn't been solved. The spillage made headlines all around the world. Even Russian President Vladimir Putin had to declare a federal emergency in early June 2020. It so happens that this is the second largest oil accident in modern Russian history. The spill is estimated at $2.1 billion worth of environmental damage. At this point, we're not exactly sure how much of Nornickel's product winds up in car batteries, but it's probably a lot. Nornickel signed an agreement with BASF in 2018 to supply nickel to a battery materials plant in Finland. This is constructed by a German chemical company. Once the plant is complete, it is expected to furnish the European auto market with enough battery materials to support the production of 300,000 new EVs per year. The company has a lot of ground to make up. Norilsk is rated as one of the most polluted cities in the world. That, of course, is thanks to the 350,000 tons of sulfur dioxide emitted every year by the city's nickel factory, which was decommissioned last year. In 2016, Norilsk Nickel made headlines when an overflow of oxidized nickel waste turned the city's Daldikin River red. At the end of the day, it's important to remember that Nornickel is responsible for being one of the biggest polluters in the entire Arctic. Regional air pollution stems from their nickel production sites on the Taimyr Peninsula and its refineries on the Kola Peninsula. The Taimyr operations alone are responsible for almost double the annual sulfur dioxide emissions of the entire United States. Get a load of that. Severe heavy metal pollution occurs due to discharges of contaminated wastewater from Nornickel's industrial facilities in nearby water bodies and soil. The whole area in Norilsk ends up poisoned. All you can find is dead trees and mud. Last on our list, will Norilsk Nickel do business with Tesla? According to Greg Miller, a nickel analyst at Benchmark Mineral Intelligence, Nornickel has many private contracts with battery makers elsewhere around the world. In other words, they could be having private deals with Tesla without us even knowing about it. It is also unclear whether they have contracts with any companies such as South Korea's LG Chem or Japan's Panasonic. Neither companies have responded to a request for comment on the matter. Tesla and Nornickel also didn't respond when asked about their relationship, but many Russian indigenous activists feel that Tesla shouldn't be sourcing from Nornickel now, especially if it's interested in nickel that is being mined. As Musk put it, in an environmentally sensitive way. All we know for now is that Aboriginal Forum implores Musk to boycott Nornickel and any of their products after the spillage disaster, until Nornickel makes things right by compensating indigenous communities for damages, implements an environmental remediation plan for lands that they've degraded, and develops guidelines for community engagement that are informed by the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Those guidelines should include obtaining free and informed consent prior to starting projects that will impact indigenous lands. That's something that the Russian government has been avoiding. Musk hasn't commented yet on the Aboriginal Forum appeal. Many activists are pushing him for an answer. A week after the letter was sent, Aboriginal Forum asked the public to join in and make their voices heard. Many people started posting with the hashtags #AnswerUs Elon Musk, #Defending Indigenous Arctic, and #No Nickel from Nornickel. So we're left speculating if he has a deal with Nornickel or not. Tell us what you guys think. That's it for today. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, or leave a comment below in the comment section.